And here we go. We got the co-main event here. We got the UFC 135 bantamweight title on the line. It's going to be Aljamain Sterling taking on TJ Dillashaw. And man, I mean, Aljamain Sterling, TJ Dillashaw, this is not only for the undisputed title, but the lineal bantamweight title as well. Currently, TJ Dillashaw is the lineal champion. He never lost the belt. Some people may get that confused because TJ did lose to Henry Cejudo, but that fight was down at 125 pounds. Dillashaw never lost the belt at 135 pounds. It was stripped after the USADA drug test failure. And the last time that Dillashaw lost at 135 pounds was in 2016. Aljamain Sterling, he wasn't really even in the mix for a title when Dillashaw was the champ back in 2019. But while he was on suspension, Sterling surged up the rankings, and he hasn't lost himself since 2017. He's on a 7-fight win streak. And that obviously is taken with a grain of salt to me because his first win over Petr Yan was kind of a loss. But Sterling came back, clearly beat Petr Yan in his last fight, proved he's the official champ. And he called for this fight with Dillashaw because I think he knows it's a big name to have on his resume. Dillashaw's not fought in over a year. He suffered a knee injury after the Sandhagen fight, and it might be a good time to get him back in there off of a layoff. But TJ Dillashaw, man, I mean, this guy is an animal. He's underrated. He came back and beat a guy from a new generation in Corey Sandhagen after almost 3 years out of the cage. He came back in, looked incredible. I mean, you got to give TJ Dillashaw a lot of credit for that. I see some people, kind of diminishing that win, talking about, oh, Corey Sandhagen won that fight. I mean, even if you believe Corey Sandhagen won, to come back almost 3 years out the game, have shoulder surgeries and things like that, be as old as TJ Dillashaw is and look as good as he did in that fight, and end up winning the fight. I mean, man, that's impressive right there. And if TJ Dillashaw can come back, reclaim the belt, incredible accomplishment at 36 years old. It would kind of match what Dominic Cruz did to him when Dominic Cruz came back from the injuries, took the belt from TJ. And right now, a lot of people view Dominic Cruz as the clear-cut, undisputed best bantamweight of all time. But if TJ Dillashaw can reclaim this belt, become a 3-time bantamweight UFC champion, man, I mean, you could definitely start to put him in there in the argument. And for Aljamain Sterling, if he wins, it'll give him an all-time great on his resume. Right now, he doesn't really have that. He beat 2 champions. He did beat Hanan Barao. He did beat Petr Yan, but neither Yan or Barao have the legacy that TJ Dillashaw has at 135 pounds. And I think a victory over TJ Dillashaw will mean more down the line looking at his resume than, Yan still has a long way to go. Petr Yan could eventually, move into that same type of territory. But I feel like Hanan Barao, TJ Dillashaw dispatched of him and is on a different level. And right now, TJ Dillashaw is either probably 1, 2, or 3 as the best 135ers of all time. So you have to give him that sort of respect. And with this fight, I mean, I think it's pretty obvious every time you have Aljamain Sterling what his game plan is going to be. He's a really big guy for the weight. It seems like he cuts a ton of weight, and he has a long reach advantage in almost all his fights. He's going to have a 4-inch reach advantage in this fight, and he basically just likes to try to move around, stay long, and throw kicks from the outside, throw straight punches, and basically try to wait for that timing where he can hit the takedown. He has unbelievable takedowns, really good back takes, and everyone knows Aljamain Sterling as the human backpacker. I mean, the guy gets on your back, and he could stay there for the whole round. He was able to get on the back of Petr Yan 3 times and win that fight with just the back takes. And, usually when Aljamain Sterling can get 1 takedown, he can get into a dominant position, control the round, and either get the submission or grind out that decision victory. We saw him submit Corey Sandhagen super quick in less than 2 minutes, which was extremely impressive. And yeah, man, I mean, Aljamain Sterling is just a really big guy. He's a high-level grappler. And if he could take the back, he has a lot of finishes from there, and he has excellent control. It's extremely hard to get him off your back. And that's just what he's going to be trying to do in all his fights. He's going to be trying to close the distance, get a hold of these guys, show that he's the bigger man, backpack them, and either choke them or come home with that cash after winning the decision. So that's kind of what Aljamain Sterling's going to try to do. On the feet, Sterling, I don't think he can really compete with Dillashaw. He's going to be trying to stay long and move around, but I'm not a big proponent of Aljamain Sterling striking. I don't really rate it that highly. I think that he's improved quite a bit with his footwork and his ability to control distance, so he can land some decent combinations and counters, and his kicks are okay, but I still think he's a little bit spastic. I still think if you pressure him, it could stuff his takedown, stay in his face. You can get him to start to get a little bit wild, overextend, and make mistakes, and you could counter those mistakes, and he will start to get tired. I think that Sterling, if he can't get takedowns and can't get control time and is getting backed up, is going to start to really unravel in this fight, like we saw him unravel in the Petr Yan fight. And man, I mean, I think it's going to be pretty hard to take down TJ Dillashaw, man. I mean, no one has taken down TJ Dillashaw really that I've seen and been able to hold him down. He hasn't really fought anyone with the length and wrestling skill Aljo has, but he's a former Division I college wrestler. And Dillashaw, he got taken down by 2 people in his UFC career. He's got taken down by John Lineker, where he got taken down one time. It was a real brief takedown. Dillashaw jumped right back up to his feet. There was virtually 0 control time from Lineker. And then Dom Cruz did get TJ down 4 times, but Cruz had 0 success holding down TJ. Even though he got credited with 4 takedowns, he had 33 seconds of control time. So TJ Dillashaw is a guy that, even if Aljamain Sterling gets him down, I've heard him talking. He says he's extremely confident in being able to compete on the ground with Sterling, being able to scramble with Sterling, not letting Sterling control him and be a backpack on him. And I think TJ Dillashaw, training all those years at Team Alpha Male, having the college wrestling background, being the type of athlete that he is, this guy's going to be extremely hard to just corral on the mat and hold down and take his back and just win on points that way. I think he's going to be a lot harder than Petr Yan in that aspect. And also with TJ Dillashaw, you don't got a guy like Petr Yan that's going to be coming forward. He's going to be right in front of you, pretty basic striking style, so you could set your takedowns up off that. TJ Dillashaw is a guy that's going to be given different angles, moving around, you know, switching stances, closing the distance with a lot of different techniques, head kicks, Superman punches, flying knees, just getting real wild. And he also has great boxing, great stance switch attacks, and his pressure is really good. I think he's going to be pressuring, switching stances, coming from different angles, chopping the legs, attacking the body to come up to the head. And I also think TJ is going to surprise a lot of people in this one, man. I think he's going to mix in his own wrestling. I think he's going to hit a couple takedowns. I think he's going to be able to control on top. And Aljamain Sterling, hey, man, I mean, you might be a beast on top, but we've seen you get taken down before. Don't forget, I mean, we saw you get taken down by Cody Stamann. We saw you get taken down by Brian Caraway. We saw you get taken down by Cody Gibson. So, man, I mean, I think that TJ Dillashaw definitely could wrestle with this guy, take him down, get on top, and be safe there. I don't really see a huge threat of Aljamain Sterling submitting TJ off of his back. And I guess some people would maybe be a little bit trepidatious in just even giving Aljamain Sterling that chance to grapple. But I think if TJ can get Aljamain Sterling on his back and Sterling can't get takedowns on TJ, he could mentally break him and he could gas him out even faster. And I just feel like TJ Dillashaw, man, I think he's going to come back and reclaim that throne. I really do. I feel like he's just a little bit better than Aljamain Sterling on the feet. I think he's the better wrestler, and I think he's not going to get taken down and grinded on. I just don't see that happening. TJ has phenomenal cardio. He has some of the best cardio ever. I mean, I don't know. He used to be on that EPO, man. You know that that helps you out for sure. And he, you never know. I mean, he's definitely willing to take liberties and, you know, do everything he needs to do to get the win. So that's the other thing that I think is good when you're betting on TJ Dillashaw. I mean, fuck it, you got that advantage potentially. But, man, I just got to go with TJ Dillashaw here, man. I think he's going to be able to keep it standing for the majority of the fight, be able to outstrike Aljamain Sterling, and I think he's going to be able to hit his own takedowns. And I don't think Aljamain Sterling is going to be that successful with this wrestling. I mean, maybe he'll get a round where he'll get the backpack and control for 1 round, but I don't see it happening for 3 rounds. I really don't. And I think TJ Dillashaw is going to come in here and win this fight pretty dominantly, actually. I'm going to say he wins via 4th round TKO.